Thank you, Congresswoman Manning. Good morning. I'm delighted to be here at the invitation of our caucus chair and vice chair, and to say first that I'm proud that the Democratic Party and the Democratic Caucus is responding swiftly to the sort of anti-freedom, far extreme Supreme Court that is committed to really taking away freedoms that Americans have enjoyed for a very long time. Access to abortion care, access to contraceptions, and even access to marriage, the institution of marriage and marriage equality. And so we don't have to wonder if that's the Supreme Court's plan, because we saw in Justice Thomas's concurrence specific reference to Obergefell and an urging of the court to revisit the substantive due process cases that recognize those freedoms, those rights for all Americans. So later today, the House will vote on H.R. 8404, the Respect for Marriage Act. These are economic issues because, as in family planning, a marriage status confers all kinds of economic benefits in tax policy, in buying insurance, and securing a mortgage. So these are important to LGBTQ families. People build their lives, married families build their lives together, knowing that the government will respect and recognize their marriages. However, same-sex couples all across this country are worried about the future of their marriages because of the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs, and in particular, Justice Thomas's alarming and extreme concurrence where he calls for the court to revisit seminal substantive due process cases, and specifically, as I said, calls out Obergefell. The Respect for Marriage Act will create stability and certainty for families worried about what the future may bring. Specifically, the bill does three things. It's a very simple bill. It corrects Congress's grievous mistake by repealing the so-called Defense of Marriage Act that the court essentially ruled unconstitutional when it recognized marriage equality, something we have a responsibility to do. When something's unconstitutional, we should remove it from our books. And it has to be repealed, and that's the first thing that the Respect for Marriage Act does. The second is the bill establishes a definition of marriage in federal law to ensure that for federal purposes, valid marriages, including same-sex marriages, have equal status to any other valid marriage. So it recognizes a definition of marriage for federal purposes. And finally, the bill prohibits any person acting under color of state law from failing to give full effect to an out-of-state marriage based on sex, race, ethnicity, or national origin of the individuals involved in the marriage. And it provides the Attorney General of the United States with the authority to pursue enforcement, and it creates a private right of action for any individual harmed by these actions. And this is really existing law. You know, if you're married in one state, it's recognized in all the other states. This will ensure that the marriage and access to marriage is not denied based on sexual orientation, race, gender, ethnicity, and it will ensure that if you are married in a state lawfully, it must be recognized by the remaining jurisdictions. And by passing this law, we will make certain that those Americans who have settled their lives and ordered their families around a recognition of marriage equality will continue to be ensured that those marriages will be respected. I want to thank Chairman Nadler of the Judiciary Committee, Chairman Jeffries, the chair of our caucus, who were instrumental in crafting this bill, and look forward to its swift passage in the House.